Okay, and welcome back to your 2020 New Hampshire presidential primary election results. Let's listen now to Pete Buttigieg. He's speaking now.
I want to congratulate my competitors and their supporters on their campaigns here in New Hampshire. I admired Senator Sanders when I was a high school student. I respect him greatly to this day, and I congratulate him on his strong showing tonight. And I want to congratulate Senator Klobuchar, Senator Warren, Vice President Biden, and all of our Democratic candidates and supporters. And I know that we all share the spirit that we heard from some of our volunteers at a poll site earlier today who welcomed a competing candidate with chants of vote blue no matter who. We are on the same team. Now, over the past year, some 24 campaigns have crisscrossed this state, each laying claim to the ability to bring people together, turn out the vote, and move Americans toward a brighter future. That too. And here in a state that goes by the motto, live free or die, you made up your own minds. You asserted that famous independent streak. And thanks to you, a campaign that some said shouldn't be here at all has shown that we are here to stay. So many of you turned out. Die-hard Democrats, independents unwilling to stay on the sidelines, and even some newly former Republicans ready to vote for something new. Ready to vote for a politics defined by how many we call in instead of by who we push out. So many of you chose to meet a new era of challenge with a new generation of leadership. So many of you decided that a middle-class mayor and a veteran from the industrial Midwest was the right choice to take on this president, not in spite of that experience, but because of it. Now our campaign moves on to Nevada, to South Carolina, to communities across our country. And we will welcome new allies to our movement at every step. We'll go forward thanks to the work of our extraordinary team of staff and organizers and volunteers. I may be biased on this, but I'm also right. We have the finest team in politics today. You don't just represent me well, you inspire me. And I cannot say enough how thankful I am to our extraordinary team. Thank you. And we know that team stretches across the country. We go forward fueled by hundreds of thousands of grassroots supporters, from the woman in Minnesota who donated in honor of the wife she lost to lung cancer, to the veteran from Connecticut who sent $19.68 in honor of the year that he served in Vietnam. This campaign belongs to them. And if our campaign moves you, I hope you'll go to PeteForAmerica.com and chip in whatever you can. And we go forward knowing that this is our chance, our only chance. Not just to end the era of Donald Trump, but to launch the era that we know must come next. And the stakes could not be higher. We cannot afford to miss the mark or to miss this moment. We must get this right. With Americans living under an unaccountable president who will cut taxes for corporations and then cut Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security for the rest of us, we must get this right. When people of color fear for their own place in their own country, while infants are torn from their parents at the border, we must get this right. And when a commander-in-chief pardons war criminals and punishes war heroes while systematically demolishing the credibility of our country in the eyes of the world, we dare not risk 4 more years of this presidency. We must get this right. Now, we are clear-eyed about the challenge before us, and we must be equally clear about the choice at hand. My competitors and I share the same fundamental goals: bringing balance to our economy, guaranteeing health care to every American, combating a climate crisis and a rising tide of gun violence. But we do differ in what we believe it will take to make that happen. In this election season, we have been told by some that you must either be for revolution or you are for the status quo. But where does that leave the rest of us? Most Americans don't see where they fit in that polarized vision. And we can't defeat the most divisive president in modern American history by tearing down anybody who doesn't agree with us 100% of the time. Americans want the freedom to make choices for themselves on health care or on any other issue, not to have Washington decide for you. And a politics of my way or the highway is a road to re-electing Donald Trump. Vulnerable Americans do not have the luxury of pursuing ideological purity over an inclusive victory. We know this. We also know better than to try to defeat such a disruptive president by relying on the same Washington framework and mindset. After all, if today's Washington were serving America well, a guy like Donald Trump would never have come within cheating distance of the Oval Office in the first place. So to win and to govern, we need to bring new voices to our capital. We need to get Washington starting to work more like our best-run cities and towns rather than the other way around. And I know that when you talk this way, you might get dismissed as a naive newcomer. But a fresh outlook is what makes new beginnings possible. It is how we build a new majority. And election after election has shown us that putting forward a new perspective is how Democrats win the White House, and we will win the White House. So as we take this campaign to the rest of the country, let's welcome that debate. Let's have that debate. Let's debate what the best way forward is, the best way to earn the White House, and the best way to unify this country. And the answers, they lie in a vision that brings Americans together not only in the knowledge of what we must stand against, but in the confidence of knowing what we are for. This is the powerful majority we are gathering together, from Davenport to Dover, from Carson City to Columbia. It is a coalition of addition, not subtraction. It is a movement reaching into church basements and barbershops, into universities and union halls, carrying the same values with us everywhere we go. We saw that coalition awakening. We saw it tonight in cities and suburbs, from the seacoast to those industrial towns too often left behind. And together, we are building a future where there will be no such thing as an uninsured American or an unaffordable prescription. That's what we can deliver with a plan most Americans can get behind. Medicare for all who want it, ensuring care for every American, but trusting you to choose whether you want it and when you want it. Together, we will stop enabling corporate greed and start raising wages, empowering workers, and making good on the idea that one job ought to be enough. Together, we will stop sending our young people into the teeth of endless wars and start recruiting every American in the fight for our climate future.
Okay, good evening, everyone. As Pete Buttigieg addresses his supporters on the right, we are now, ABC now projecting Bernie Sanders as the winner of the New Hampshire primary. He is on screen left, about to speak to his supporters. Let's listen in.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, New Hampshire. Thank you, New Hampshire. Let me
take this opportunity to thank the people of New Hampshire for a great victory tonight. Let me thank the thousands of volunteers in New Hampshire. Thank you. Who knocked on doors in the rain and the snow and the cold. The reason that we won tonight in New Hampshire, we won last week in Iowa, it's because of the hard work of so many volunteers. And let me say tonight that this victory here is the beginning of the end for Donald Trump. With victories behind us, popular vote in Iowa and the victory here tonight, we're going to Nevada, we're going to South Carolina, we're going to win those states as well. And tonight I want to take the opportunity to express my appreciation and respect for all of the Democratic candidates we ran against. Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden. And what I can tell you with absolute certainty, and I know I speak for every one of the Democratic candidates, is that no matter who wins, and we certainly hope it's going to be us, we're going to unite together. We are going to unite together and defeat the most dangerous president in the modern history of this country. And the reason I believe we are going to win is that we have an unprecedented grassroots movement from coast to coast of millions of people. The reason that we are going to win is that we are putting together an unprecedented, multi-generational, multi-racial political movement. And this is a movement from coast to coast, which is demanding that we finally have an economy and a government that works for all of us, not wealthy campaign contributors. And I want to thank all of those people who have worked and contributed to our campaign, but make the point that in this point in the campaign, we are taking on billionaires and we're taking on candidates funded by billionaires. But we are going to win because we have the agenda that speaks to the needs of working people throughout this country. Health care is a human right, not a privilege. The wealthy and powerful will start paying their fair share of taxes. We will make public colleges and universities universities tuition-free and cancel all student debt. Unlike Donald Trump, we know that climate change is very real and an existential crisis for our planet. We are prepared to tell the fossil fuel industry that their short-term profits are not more important than the future of our planet. We are going to end a racist and broken criminal justice system. We are going to pass comprehensive immigration reform. Our gun safety policies will be determined by the American people, not the NRA. And under our administration, it will be women, not the government, who control their own lives. Now, our campaign is not just about beating Trump, it is about transforming this country. It is about having the courage to take on Wall Street, the insurance companies, the drug companies, the fossil fuel industry, the military-industrial complex. So tonight I want to thank the people of New Hampshire for this great victory, thank our volunteers, and urge all Americans to join our effort to transform this country at BernieSanders.com. So it's on to Nevada, it's on to South Carolina, it's on to win the Democratic nomination, and together, I have no doubt that we will defeat Donald Trump. Thank you all very much.
And there you have it. Bernie Sanders has won the 20...
Okay, and there you go. You have heard it. Bernie Sanders has won the 2020 New Hampshire first in the nation primary election. He won. Second place is Pete Buttigieg. Third place is Amy Klobuchar, and fourth place, Elizabeth Warren. Thank you for joining us for this special broadcast of your 2020 New Hampshire presidential primary election results right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all enjoyed watching. We had a fun time bringing you the results here to the Riley King Network, and I will have a full recap of everything of the 2020 New Hampshire presidential primary election results tomorrow morning right here on the Riley King Network. Have a great, wonderful night, everyone. We enjoyed bringing this to you, and it was a fun time. Good night, and bye.